Okay, if the lighting goes wacky on me, I'm sorry. Turn it down a little. Hopefully it stays. Anyways, I'm too lazy to get out the ring light, so this is what we're gonna get, and my yarn is attacking me. Much better. Okay, I wanted to make a new Instagram profile to talk. So since the last time I posted, one of my Instagram accounts got deleted, so I was gonna make a new one to talk about things that I've learned from the Bible, because as you know, if you've watched my page, if you follow me and you've consumed the content that I put out, you should know by now that I'm a Christian. And so I was gonna make a new Instagram page, just talk about things that I've learned from reading through the Bible. I've started reading through Genesis. I lost my notes. What? Oh, here they are. Okay. And so I was gonna make this new page specifically for that, because my personal page, I don't really talk about specific things to do with the Bible, like I just share here and there. And I was gonna call it Saints United, or His Saints United. And because my other account got deleted, basically, they won't let me make a new one. So I have my main one, and then the one that I have for my pets that I post on sometimes, and the one for my crochet stuff. So I'm just gonna talk about it here on YouTube. So first, how do I want to do this? There's a few different things that I want to talk about that have to do with the Bible. The girth of this video is going to be talking about who the two witnesses might be in Revelation. But first I want to talk about dinosaurs, which is kind of a wacky topic, I know, but I just want to, like, so I'm going to pose the question. I almost forgot how to speak there. Do you think dinosaurs exist? That's the question. Now, obviously, most people would say yes, because we have fossils that show that they existed. So, dude, I'm so tired. Work was so stressful today, but I survived. Oh, sorry, excuse me. So, this is going to take a little bit of time for me to flesh out, so just please bear with me. So, the church that I follow, that I've linked you guys to before, it's Calvary Chapel, Ontario, Oregon. I say that very lightly, we're covering Genesis chapter 1, which is the account of creation, right? And so the pastor brought out the point of dinosaurs, because a lot of people have asked over the years, like, did dinosaurs exist, and if so, why are they not mentioned in the Bible? And speaking of Bible, I probably should get mine out. So put my mouse aside so I can grab it. It's right here under my desk, on a little shelf that's under my desk. So he basically we were talking about, they're called theistic evolutionists, basically people who believe that the earth evolved billions of years before God created humans, and that's when the dinosaurs existed, and those ideas cannot coexist. And I will tell you why as soon as I find the page in my notes. Okay, here's the definition of that he gave of a theistic evolutionist, the person, or the thought of what they believe. It's the belief that God brought all matter into being and then guided the process of evolution over eons. The theistic evolutionist believes organic evolution was simply the way God did it, as he brought the universe and its content into existence. So that God, like, created everything, and it just evolved over eons until we came to the point where humans existed. But that is not, like, it's not biblical. And a theistic evolutionist is someone who is a Christian but believes in evolution, which that in itself is messed up. And the reason that cannot exist, like, that's not possible, is because it's actually because of fossils. So we learn in Genesis chapter 3. When Adam and Eve take of the forbidden fruit and death is unleashed on the earth as a byproduct of sin. The Bible says that the wages of sin are death. So this is my question. I finally got to the question. I had to get all that out before I could ask this question, which is, if my brain could work, that'd be amazing. The question is, how can dinosaurs have lived, existed, and died, okay, before death itself existed? So if the idea is that death as a concept did not exist because God did not create death and he didn't intend it for us, how can the dinosaurs have lived and died before Adam and Eve existed to unleash death onto the earth? So basically, how can something die if death doesn't exist? I know it's kind of a wacky concept, but so what I believe, or what I hypothesize, is dinosaurs did exist, and I think because the Bible says that Adam named all the animals, so they had to get their names from somewhere. I think that when Adam and Eve were banished from the garden, the dinosaurs stayed there. And I think, this is just a quick version, I think that in the flood, the Great Flood, I think that like the garden, the dinosaurs were washed away. This is kind of like weird. This is just me overthinking everything, but I wanted to share it so I don't feel like I'm alone in being crazy. Because we do have fossils, like people, like archaeologists are finding bones of dinosaurs, so obviously they did exist at some point. But I also know that if a museum finds fossils and they're incomplete, they can construct them out of material to make the set look complete. So how do we know that even any of the fossils that we have are real? Just a question. Okay, that's that. So, did dinosaurs exist? Maybe. Where did they go? I don't know. Why are they not mentioned in the Bible? I also don't know. But the Bible does say that Adam named all the animals. It says it in... Okay, I looked over it like 15 times. I don't know why. I couldn't find it. Sorry for my hand in your face. Now it's blurry. What did I do? Oh no. Okay, there. That's better. Okay, right here in chapter 2, verse 20. It says, the man gave names to all livestock and all the birds of the heavens and to every beast of the field. So, who knows, maybe dinosaurs did exist, but my hypothesis, let's not use big words because I can't speak, is that the dinosaurs stayed in the garden and that's where they died. They didn't get hit by a meteor or whatever, and they didn't die that way. Because that's like the evolutionist mindset. So, enough of that. So I wanted to talk about the two witnesses because I was reading through Genesis 5. I just started it the other night and I was like mind blown at the information given to us here. So, because we came to the point of talking about Enoch, which is the son of Jared, right? So Enoch was, well, I cannot think of words. I am so sorry. Enoch was a prophet, and it says so in the book of Jude, where he gives his prophecy, and it's, I've got too many things sitting here in front of me. I really did have a long day. If you don't want to watch this because I'm stammering and stuttering, I understand. That is so fine. So, Jude 1:14 and 15 says, Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied about these men. See, the Lord is coming with thousands upon thousands of his holy ones to judge everyone and to convict all of the ungodly of all of the ungodly acts they have done in the ungodly way, and of all the harsh words ungodly sinners have spoken against him. And this is prophesying of the second coming of Jesus when he returns with all the believers to judge the earth. And the fact that that was prophesied so, well, not so early on, but I guess early on because Enoch existed in the same time frame as Adam. So for it to be prophesied so early on, that I find that crazy that they knew Jesus, or that they prophesied about him so early on in the Bible. Give me just a minute. Okay, so I think that, well, okay, I'll say what I think after. Some people think that the two witnesses are going to be David and Moses, Moses and Elijah, Elijah and Elisha, and some people believe it's going to be Enoch, the seventh from Adam, and Elijah, and I will tell you why. That makes the most sense to me. Actually, I'll give you like an interesting factoid before. So Enoch exists. So we know that Adam lived like a long time, right? Like many years. So Enoch, the seventh from Adam lived for a total of 930 years, which is crazy to think that that was the reality. Why will this not stay right there? Okay. So Enoch existed exactly halfway in between Adam and Abraham. And Elijah existed exactly halfway in between Abraham and Jesus. So they kind of like are symbolic of each other in that way. And then since Enoch and Elijah are the two men besides Jesus who never experienced a physical death, them being the two witnesses. So the story of the two witnesses is that they're going to be in like the final days before Jesus ushers in the new heaven and the new earth. They're going to be witnessing to people for the last time, like, this is the truth, you need to accept it. And they're going to get killed by the beast, whatever that means, and they're gonna lay dead in the streets. I think probably in Jerusalem, because that's where all this centers around. They're gonna lay in the street, in like the square, town square, for 3 days undisturbed, and then suddenly they're just gonna come back to life. And I believe that it's Enoch and Elijah because they are, like I said, the two men in the Bible besides Jesus who never experienced physical death. They were just taken away. It literally says here in Genesis 4, Genesis 5, verse 24. Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. So basically, like, he existed, and then he didn't, because God just took him back to heaven. Who knows why? Unless it's to fulfill this prophecy of being one of the two witnesses, because it also satisfies the verse, or this verse, Ecclesiastes 9, verses 2 through 4, which basically says that every man has to experience physical death at least once in this life, because the wages of sin are death. And so for everybody to die except for Enoch and Elijah feels like special treatment. But if they are the two witnesses and they come back and they die for this grand purpose, it satisfies the verse. It makes it complete. So that's what I think. I think it's going to be Enoch and Elijah. And I think it makes the most sense. It doesn't make sense for David to be one of the witnesses, because the Bible already says that when Jesus is on the throne in Jerusalem, that David's going to be reigning next to him. So David's already going to be here. So let me know what you guys think. I'm sorry that my brain did a little loop-de-loop there trying to get to these points. Also, Enoch lived 365 years, And you want to know something else interesting before I close up this chaotic mess of a video? Hold on just a minute. Okay, I had to find it in my notes. So, I don't know if you guys know who Methuselah is, but a lot of people think that his name translates to when he dies, it will be sent, referencing the Great Flood. So I put down, a lot of people believe that Methuselah means when he dies, it will be sent, as a promise from God to Enoch, that the Great Flood would not come until the passing of his son Methuselah. Methuselah is Noah's grandpa. That's kind of a weird term to use with these Bible people. The flood didn't happen until Noah was 600 years old, which is way past the death of Methuselah, Enoch's son. So the fact that God let Methuselah live so long, like, okay, let's see, it's right here, hold on, 969 years, just shows how long-suffering God is, because he made a promise to Enoch that the flood would not happen until Methuselah died. And it didn't happen until after he died. And even then it didn't happen until after he died 600 years later. So God is a man of his word, and his word can be taken seriously, and it can be leaned on and built on. Okay, those are the crazy things I learned from the Bible recently. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. I hope anything I've said made a little sense. If it didn't, I'm sorry. Thank you for sticking with me. I'm gonna go have my name legally changed to Chaos Jr. Okay, good night.